Hi everyone, thank you for joining me for this video on our new report generator solution. You may be aware that our desktop RepGen is hosted locally, but now can be hosted in Azure, our cloud-based solution, with the benefits of automated upgrades to the application and added security through multi-factor authentication. For those that are unaware of what RepGen is a system that creates reports from information pulled from Compucare that can be manually ran by users, or can alternatively be scheduled to automatically send to users' email addresses. Before getting into our cloud-hosted RepGen, I just wanted to provide you with an update on our old on-premise version. In 880 that comes out in October, your IT team will have to distribute released files themselves. If they don't have access to these, we would recommend moving to our Azure-based RepGen to benefit from regular upgrades. As you may be able to see from the small video now shown on your screen, desktop RepGen very much uses outdated Microsoft technology that has not been updated for a prolonged period. This RepGen solution is now not in line with some other apps such as the patient and clinician portal. Because of this, we are issuing an end-of-life notice for the desktop version of RepGen for March 2026. What this means is from this date, we will no longer be providing support and maintenance for the system. So what are the benefits of our new RepGen solution in Azure? As you see from the image, new RepGen has much more of a modern feel and is designed with our other applications such as Patient Portal and Clinician Portal in mind, using React to create the system. This system is fully hosted by ourselves in our Azure environment, meaning you can benefit from automated upgrades regularly. You can also benefit from a wealth of preloaded reports in the system that we have chosen based on the most used reports in RepGen, saving on admin time creating these reports manually. Our RepGen solution is created with security in mind. We have our Azure Active Directory integration, whereby we can set up access through Windows authentication with the added functionality of limiting who has access from the directory. There are token secured sessions that expire after a certain time and multi-factor authentication that will be in line with your MFA for your Active Directory, like you would with all secure web applications. We have a web application firewall, DDoS, and bot protection that protects our system from common web hacking techniques to ensure safety of data. We also use a hybrid connection model that uses an encrypted connection at both ends of the chain that clears down after 90 days. The hybrid connection will connect you from your Compucare database to the new Azure RepGen to access real-time data. Finally, we use Microsoft data centers for UK South and UK West. If one goes down, there is an automatic failover to the other data center, ensuring that uptime from RepGen is at its maximum. Those of you that use desktop version of RepGen will know the types of reports that can be created in the system. For those that don't, you can see some of the key types of reports that can be created in the list shown on the screen now. Additionally, these types of reports that you can expect for your preloaded reports that I mentioned previously. You can also see an image of what the design looks like in RepGen before a user would download to Excel or CSV, for example. RepGen has all the functionality to automate sending users a report via email at set times and dates, such as every week, every month, or ad hoc when needed. Previously, you would have received a PDF via email of the report, but for security reasons, you now get a prompt to download the report in RepGen after logging in. Now let's have a look at navigating around RepGen and seeing some of its functionality with the live demo. So of course, we're going to start in the login screen of Report Generator. So I'm just going to go ahead and select login. And as you can see, this just prompts us to use our Microsoft account. Once we've signed in with our password, you can see we just get this prompt that I need to input this code into my second device. I'll just go ahead and do that now. This will be specific to your organization. So if, for example, you're working from home, you may have a different MFA to what we have. So once logged into the system, you can see this just pulls us through to the Report Generator dashboard. As you can see, we have these three tiles at the top of the screen. So if I go from left to right, we can see the unread reports, which just pops up with the notifications just showing the user that they have unread reports that they may need to have a look at. We have reports run, which just shows an audit of all the reports run in the last 30 days by the user. As you can see, we can run the report again, or we can view the already ran report. We can also filter to have a shorter or longer period if required. Finally, we have our My Reports, which just shows the user all the reports that they have created in the system. In Reports List, we can filter on all reports in the system. We can filter on Recent, which shows the user recently ran report in the system. And we have our Favorites. At the moment, we have nothing in Favorites. I'm just going to go back to Recent. And with this inpatient statistics report, I'm just going to select this star. And as you can see in the Favorites tab, this just shows this report now. If, for example, we remove the star, you can see that just disappears off the screen. We can also filter on categories. So I'll just go to Financial. And you can see this just gives us a comprehensive list of all the financial reports in the system. We can search for reports at the top of the screen. So if I search for inpatient, for example, and then inpatient admissions last month, we can run the save report here, or we can make any changes to the report if required. We can also search for reports via tags. So as you can see, we have our tags here. I'm just going to search for month-end reports. And as you can see here, we just have the reports that have the month-end reports tag. If, for example, we wanted to add a tag to a report, we simply edit the report. And as you can see here, we just have the option to add a tag. We can add multiple tags against a report if required. So your report generator database will likely have a live and test environment. So I'll just show you how you may move from one to the other here. So if I just go to data sources and select testing, you can see that just moves us across to the testing environment. We just get that prompt that we're on the testing environment at the top of the screen here. But let's move back to the sales environment. So before going on to how we can create a report in the system, let's have a look at some of the other functionality. So at the top right of the screen, we can change from dark theme to light. And we can also log a support ticket by going to knowledge base and then simply selecting submit a ticket here. And that will go straight through to our support department. We can also browse for report generator articles in here if required. Now we've had a look at the navigation around the system, let's have a look at how we can create a report. So I'll just go to new. And then let's go for the category financial. I'm going to select my patient transactions list. And then I'm just going to give this a name. So I'm just going to give it transactions last month posted. We can add a tag to this report. So let's go for Jacob's reports. And now we can start building our report with our columns. So let's search for a column such as patient ID. We can also multi-select columns here. So if I just toggle this to yes, and let's start adding a few columns in here. Let's go for transaction number, transaction status, transaction gross amount, transaction balance, and let's go for a date of transaction created. We can reorder these columns by just dragging and dropping like so. And now let's add a group into this report. So if I search for patient, you can see this will just filter the report on the output type full name. We can also add filters to a report. So let's go for add a group here. And let's go for date of transaction created. Let's select relative to today. Go for greater than and select -1. Let's go for months. And what this will do is pull through any transactions that were created between the 22nd of July to today's day, which is this relative to today field. If, for example, we wanted to have a longer date range of 2 months, we can simply put -2 here. And as you can see, this is just pulling through from the 22nd of June. We can also go the other way if required. So if, for example, we went to 1, you can see this just goes to the 22nd of September. But for now, let's keep it at -1 for this report. We can add multiple filters against the report. So if I add another group here, and let's go for transaction status. We can select multiple transaction statuses in here, but for now, let's go for any transaction that is posted. As you can see, we have this and or option. So when set to and, Both of the filters against this report need to be applicable for the transaction to show in the report. If, for example, we went for or, either of these filters need to be applicable for the transaction to show. For now, let's just go for and. Now we've created our report, let's have a look at some of the other functionality. Let's go to advanced settings. You can see we can just input a report description if needed here. And we can select the file format that the document will be delivered in. So let's go for Excel. We can also schedule reports as mentioned in the presentation. If I go to scheduling and then just select add a new schedule, let's give this a title of Jacob's transactions. We have this option to send the report within the organization or outside of the organization. So if we're sending the report outside of the organization, the user will just receive a link just to open the report. So obviously they won't have a RepGen login, so they'll just have to open it, probably the more old-fashioned way, shall we say, where they just open the link. For now, let's go for within the organization. Let's search for Jacob. I want this to repeat every month at the first of the month, and let's select a time. So let's go for 9 o'clock. As you can see at the top of the screen, we get this next run date, which is Sunday, the 1st of September at 2024 at 9 o'clock. So for example, I changed this to 10. You can see that just updates to the 10th of September. Okay, so now we've created our report. We have the option to run the report ad hoc, which will just pop up in the notifications here. But for now, let's go and select save and close. As you can see, this just takes us back to our dashboard. If I select my reports, you can see we just get this transactions last month posted report that we've just created. So let's just select run now on that. As you can see, we have our Jacob's report tag here. So if I just go to all, then search for Jacob's reports, you can see that report just pops up now. We can also edit the report if required. So if, for example, we wanted to change any columns, groupings, or filters, we can do so here. But for now, let's just open the report. So the report pops up on the top of the screen here. As you can see here, we can just open this up. This just gives us the raw data in RepGen, but from here we can download the report. So if I select download, you can see that just pops up there with just the Excel sheet where we can change the data if required. So now I've shown you how we can create a report from scratch. Let's have a look at some of the out-of-the-box reports that I've mentioned previously. So if I go to new, then let's go to system reports. As you can see, any of these reports that have this red tag for system report are just our out-of-the-box reports. So if I just search for income, let's have a look at income by specialty last month. So let's create this. Unlike our other report that we create from scratch, you can see this just pulls through some columns, groupings, and filters already. So obviously we can remove columns from here or add them if required, but I just wanted to show you some of the functionality we can use in the columns section here. So as you can see, we already have cost of issues in the report, but if I just search for cost of issues again, you can see we can just add that cost of issues twice. If we select here, we can see we can just change the name of this column. So if I just call this radiology. And then we can also filter on each column. So if I just select the filter on the column here, and then let's go for billing group. As you can see, we can either search for the billing group here, or we can just search through this list we have. But for now, I'll just search for radiology. And as you can see, this just gives us a list of all the billing groups with radiology. So we'll just tick this radiology one and then the radiology MRI. I'll just add selected to filters. And as you can see, this will now filter this column on just the billing groups of radiology and radiology MRI, which, as you can imagine, is quite useful in some reports. That was pretty much all I wanted to show you in Report Generator. So I'm just going to go back to my presentation now. I just wanted to say thank you very much for watching. For further information on anything you've seen in this video or the commercial elements with the report generator, please contact us via the details below. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.